Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm going to tell you today about Kim Jong-ok. Okay, he was a Korean-American soldier. He was an officer in World War II as well as the Korean War. He retired from the United States Army, passed away a few years ago. He was a very good man, and he actually was the commanding officer, or one of the commanding officers, in the 100th Battalion, 442nd Infantry Regiment. And he trained at Camp Shelby with them. And he was requested and was had the option of transferring out of the 100th Battalion, 442nd Infantry Regiment, but he said no. In his quote, he said, "There are no Japanese, no Koreans here. We're all Americans. We're fighting for the same cause." Okay? And the Japanese Americans did not like him at first, basically because he was Korean, and he was given the name Yobo, or Yobu, which is Korean for like darling. But after they saw how tough he fought in Italy and how he led from the front and how he fought alongside his Japanese American counterparts and how he would risk his life for them, that he didn't just give the orders and have the Japanese Americans he commanded do the fighting. No, he fought with them and he fought by example. As soon as the Japanese Americans saw that, they gave him the nickname Samurai Kim out of respect. And that's why he was able to join the Japanese American Veterans Association. Okay? And I personally think Kim Jong-ok is a hero and not a traitor. He served my country very well. And after World War II, he went and he started his small business. He was a laundryman. That was his job. And he owned the business. He had his own personal laundry business, and he was the only person working there. But when the Korean War came, he felt like, because Korea was his father's country, he felt like he needed to go and he needed to help the Korean people. And the U.S. Army wanted to make him an intel officer, but he said no, he wanted to fight. And he fought very bravely and very gallantly in Korea. And the battalion that he was in, largely due to Kim Jong-ok, the battalion that he was in helped establish an orphanage in Korea. And this orphanage housed about 500 or so Korean orphans whose parents were killed during the war. And a lot of these people grew up to be professionals, musicians, artists, other professional jobs. And I mean, I will disclose this. Some of this is from Wikipedia, but not all of this. The Korean American Association did tributes to Kim Jong-ok, and I watched the videos there, and that's where I honestly first learned about Kim Jong-ok. And also, the second time was when there was a book about the Japanese Americans in World War II called Honor Before Glory, and it mentions Kim Jong-ok in that as well. And Kim Jong-ok, that was actually when I first knew that he was first called like darling by the Japanese Americans he commanded, but then it was quickly changed to Samurai Kim when they saw how tough and efficiently he fought. Okay, one of the reasons I personally believe that Kim Jong-ok was able to forgive Japan for all the atrocities that they did to Korea during that time is because his father, when his father and his family was living in Hawaii, he joined a group created by Sungmin Rhee, who was the first president of South Korea, that condemned Japan's occupation of Korea, raised awareness of that in the Korean American community, and urged the overthrow of the Japanese government because they were treating Korea so brutally. And they were, not saying that. And I don't blame his father for joining that group, but what Kim Jong-ok also saw was he saw his father become very bitter towards Japan and have a lot of anger and a lot of prejudice towards them. And the father had a compulsive gambling addiction, and Kim Jong-ok had to take jobs as a teenager to help support the family because the family was constantly in debt because of the father's compulsive gambling addiction. I've also seen other sources where the father possibly had an alcohol problem as well. And from what his father experienced, I can sympathize with that because his father had experienced a lot of oppression with Japan's occupation of Korea. That's why he left for the United States. And I can see that, but Kim Jong-ok, I believe, chose a different path because he saw how the bitterness was dragging down his father. So, anyways, everybody's doing well. Take care. God bless them. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.